Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Mr. Ivan Iskandar as our lecturers of the subject Psychology of Science. And then here, we are from group 3, and we will present our topic, especially in part 6. And then, allow me to share our presentation. Wait a minute. Now, here, this is our subject of philosophy of science. And then the topic that we have is ontologi. And then we can explain about hakikat apa saja yang dikaji, hakikat apa yang dikaji dalam metafisika, etika, dan estetika, serta dalam program Magister Pendidikan Bahasa atau PMPB atau objek material dan formal. And then here, the member of group 6, there are Elma, Citiya, and then me, Gita, Khoirunisa. And then here, the outline of our presentation of our topic. For the step 1 is definition of metaphysica, etika, and estetica. And then the step 2, the function of metaphysica, etika, and estetica. And then the step 3, kind of metaphysica. And then the step 4, kind of etika, and then the last step is example of etika. And then this is the definition would be delivered by Emmy. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for Gita. Right now, I'm about to explain you about the definitions for metaphysics, etika, and estetica. For the first is metaphysics. According to Peter Hessman, 2017, metaphysics is the quiz to find the ultimate meaning and purpose of existences. It is about trying to find a decisive and conclusive resolution to the human conditions. In metaphysics, it means that we have to try to find out about the human conditions, about the human feeling itself. And the second is etika. According to Green Park 2017, etiquette is a code of behavior that delineates expectation for social behavior. It means that etika is like our behavior, our habit or our behavior to face a situation. And the third is aesthetic. According to Malik 20 and 15, the term aesthetic derived from the ancient Greek aesthesia to perceive. In this case, I can conclude that aesthetic is like a dynamic or a complex set relationship in human sensory. And for the next presentation, will present by Gita.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmy. And then here, the point of functions. There are 3 points, I mean. For the first point is metaphysics. The function of metaphysics is the main objective of metaphysical studies is an understanding of the basic structures and principle of reality. And then the function of aesthetics itself has the meaning of art about beauty. Aesthetics are needed in everyday life. With this aesthetic, we can judge something as good or bad. So we can see the example in the next page, in the next slide, I mean. And then for the etiquette or etika, there are 4 points of the function. For the first one is to help us stand in a variety of views and morals. And then the second one is to help distinguish which ones should not be changed and which ones should be changed. And then C, to help someone in making an opinion. And then the last one is to bridge or mediate all the dimensions. And then the next point, the next step will be delivered by Amy.
There are kinds of metaphysics. There are two kinds of metaphysics. The first is anthropology and cosmology. And for anthropology, according to Zerihun 2015, anthropology is a social science which studies mankind and its entirely. It means that social science, how we can learn, how we can effective, how we can use our sensory in our social. And then cosmology, according to Riden 2006, cosmology is the study of universe or cosmos regarded as a whole. It means that uh, how we can familiar or how we can critical thinking about one problem. It's not only about think about the little element, but also the whole of the problem itself. Okay, next. Maybe explain by Gita.
Okay, thank you. This is the kind of etiquette. Etiquette has two points. Has two kinds. I mean, have two kinds. And then the first kind is philosophical ethics. Here, philosophical ethics is an ethics and comes from thinking activities. And then it can also be said that ethics is a part of the science of philosophy. Philosophical of ethics have the following two characters. The first one is empirical, and then the third one is non-empirical. The empirical is ethics that discuss something that exists or is concrete. For example, like the philosophy of language. It means that the studies in the language, especially language, English language, that what's that? We did now. And then the second kinds of etika, theological ethics. Ethics that is closely related to religion and contains elements of general ethics and can be understood when understanding ethics in general. For the example of theological ethics, in Christianity is ethics that comes from presuppositions about God or divine. And then the next point will be delivered by Amy.
Okay, maybe this is the last point of our presentations. We access about the examples of etiquette. There were some example of etiquette. The first is respect parents by kissing hands before daily activities, and then dispose of garbage and its place, and then say sorry when you make a mistake, and the last is eat with the right hands. And that's all the example of etiquette. Okay, may I close these presentations? Thank you very much for Gita as my partner to this presentation. Maybe we close. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sorry, Gita, you are unmute now.
Okay, thank you very much for reminding me. And then thank you for Mr. Ivan for your attention. This is our presentation. And then hopefully you can understand about our explanation. I think that's all. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.